My mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark. In the pipe. 5 by 5.
Another day, another Royal Express elevator to hell, man. Well, this is obviously what happens in Bitcoin. We all know that this is a possibility, that a 20%, 30% correction is always a possibility in Bitcoin, but during the bull market, of course. But we all know that eventually it'll go higher. A little scary, I know, for most people who are new to the game, and they're probably going, "Oh my God, I'm gonna lose all my money! Oh my God!" No, this is where dollar cost average helps a lot. I was talking to one person I met on one of the yachts that I've been on. He was saying that he was helping people in his family invest in Bitcoin. And yeah, they were a little nervous, right? Because, it is very volatile. And he hadn't put their money in just yet. And I told him, well, don't put all of it all at once, right? At this price. Put a small amount. Divide it into 20 parts, right? And then when you divide it into 20 parts, you actually put in a small amount, like 1/20th right now, because the reason why is, let's just say it goes higher. Well, then, you look like a hero. But if it goes lower, you just tell your family members, no problem. We have a lot more cash available to buy some on the cheap. And there you go. Right now, you're just getting a discount on your Bitcoins on the cheap. So it's a great thing, great cool thing to have, right? Dollar cost average, it's called dollar cost average in the Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Bitcoin's here to stay. Bitcoin's going to take over as money. You have to keep that in mind. You have to take a look at the long game. I know, it's hard, very hard, right? Especially when we're up so much, where we're so high in the sky, you're thinking, how could this thing go higher? I don't get it. And the reason why it can go higher is because it's booting up to be money. And it's clear that that's the direction. We have PayPal, right? Allowing people to buy a Bitcoin. We have corporations putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets. We have hedge funds using Bitcoin. We have retirement funds adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet so that you can retire successfully. It's a direction. It's the direction. And you might say, well, you know what? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just not used for anything. No, it's going to be used for the most important thing. Most important thing on the planet. 50% of all assets. It's 50% of all assets going to be money. Money is 50% of all transactions on the world, right? There's very few barter transactions. There's mostly transactions between person and money, or between an asset and money, switching between one asset to another using money. And so Bitcoin is going to be money, and you need to be here before it does become money. Now, you're saying, well, I don't know if it's going to happen. How do I know? Yeah, you don't know. You don't know the future. We could be hit by an asteroid. There's something called tail risk, right? Tail risk cannot be predicted. Anything could happen, right? We could have, an earthquake in California that destroys all of California or something like that. We don't know. We know that's possible, right? But we don't know when it's going to happen, right? We could have, tomorrow the U.S. dollar defaults, and it's too early for Bitcoin to soak up all the wealth, right? You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen, and you have to accept that as part of your risk, right? Profile. So, if you accept that, right, then you have to invest accordingly. Invest basically with the understanding that there is risk, of major risk of something happen, something major happening, not major risk, but something major happening that you cannot predict. An example of that, right? A more likely example, no other than an asteroid, solar flare or whatever nonsense you can think of. What's most likely going to happen is that you get robbed, right? You get robbed, or an exchange collapses because you left your currency on exchange. Another issue is that you forgot your password to your wallet, or you lost the 24-word or 12-word seed phrase to your wallet. Those are likely risks of owning Bitcoin, more so than tail risk, other than, of course, the tail risk of the US dollar collapsing. That's a higher percentage because they're clear on that direction. They want to print. They want to print as much as they possibly can, and they want to take advantage of the fact that, hey, you know what? Everybody's accepting dollars and there's nowhere for them to run. So they are going to take that advantage of that and print money until the cows come home. And the cows that we're talking about coming home is the US dollars coming all flooding back to the United States. Don't worry about that. They put in a lot of things in place a long time ago to help prevent rapid increase in prices and so forth. So, for example, I don't know if you know this, but for the longest while before, right, you could actually write a check from any bank in anywhere in the world, deposit it into the United States bank. Did you know that? Well, I bet you didn't, right? But back in 2000, I think it was 2003, right? They cut that off completely. They cut it off. No one can deposit a check from anywhere else in the world. But that didn't used to be like that. That's called capital controls. They slowly added more and more of those capital controls, just a little bit, little by little, not so that you would notice, right? So that when the time comes and they know that it's coming, that they would be able to control the amount of money flowing into the country. Because imagine, all those dollars, the world's washed with dollars, and all you have to do is write a check for a building, right? And pass it over. Yeah, okay. And they can't do that. They can't, all of a sudden stop it, put in all the capital controls all at once, else it's going to make them look bad. But since they phased it in over time, right, it makes it seem like, well, it's always been that way. They're good, right? They're good. They got you guys good, man. Right? So there's a lot more capital controls like that. I can't think of all of them right now, but I remember being able to do a lot more finances, right, than I used to back in the days. For example, a transfer from Canada to the United States was very simple. Now it's has to be a wire transfer. It can't be a direct transfer to the bank, right? You have to do a wire transfer through SWIFT and all that kind of stuff. So because SWIFT is more controlled. Yeah, right? It's a centralized system through the central banks, and so they can actually cut that off through they have one pipe, and they can close that one pipe. And yeah, so that's how they work, right? So it's time to get into Bitcoin, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're setting us up, right, for a big fall, right? And make sure you have some Bitcoin. Even learn how to hold on to it, because that's the most important thing. Forget about all the other tail risks I've talked about. The real, except for the dollar collapse, is the real tail risk, right? Is your unfortunately negligence with cryptocurrencies. So make sure that you learn how to transfer them back and forth to another wallet, even if you have to it's worthwhile to open up an account on your iPad. For example, you download BitPay, you get some Bitcoins, right? And you open up your BitPay application on your iPad and on your phone, and you transfer back and forth between the two. You delete the account on your iPad and you restore it on your iPad. You delete it on your phone and you restore it on your phone. So you know all those processes exactly down to the T, so that you don't make any mistakes. And when you do transfers, you always double check the numbers, the account numbers that you're transferring to, That's very critical because what could happen is that a virus could get into your Android phone, most likely, more so than your iPhone, and actually change that number, change that account to somebody else's account. So make sure that that did not happen when you do a copy and paste or do the scanning of the address. Critical information that you need to know that's very important. Well, with that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of my channel. I know I haven't been doing a lot of videos, but you know, I'm in the process of moving and getting myself organized and getting myself into some sort of groove. I like how I've got this new cameraman called DJI, and we're gonna see more of him, cameraman, soon. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys next time in the next video. Cheers. Take it easy.